Okay, so it's going to be fairly easy for us to, as I said, transplant the various values that the user inputs from the controls into the SQL statement. But there is, of course, the image that's going to be coming up. How is that going to be represented? Let's click on the page again. Let's see it. So there it is. There's our file upload object where it says picture and browse. At this point, the user has to locate an image on their PC, and then they when they press submit, this image will get sent up to the server with all the other information. Now then, how do we, when that gets up there, how do we get hold of it? Well, basically this object, which is the picture upload file upload object, this has got a property called save as, and which will just basically simply save it to a location on the server. Now, essentially, probably it might be a good idea we create a directory on the server for placing the images. Now, notice I've created a directory here called user images. And it's very easy to create a directory. Just right-click, choose add, and create new folder. Okay. Well, I've created a new folder already called user images, and that's the place where I'm going to be putting the images that people send. But we want to make sure that those images have unique names, that they don't, any of them are the same. So we're going to change the name of whatever comes up from its original name to a name something like username.jpg. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing. So let's go back into the VB code. Okay, and we're going to say something. First of all, we'd say where on the server we're going to be putting the file. So we decide type something like this: dim file lock, namely the file location, equals. This comes a very useful function, request.mapPath. Okay, request.mapPath is a way where you can give a directory or a file relative to the website, and the server will work out its exact real path on the server computer. So if I type in map path open bracket quote user images, okay, basically it'll turn it from being just user images in mobile standards to user images wherever it is on the hard disk. Okay, so request map path user images, and then we're going to add our directory separator, which is going to be the backslash, and then we're going to add user.identity.name, and then we're going to say ampersand quote dot jpg, okay, such that file lock eventually will say something like C documents and settings Visual Studio 2008 / mobile stand project, sorry, 2008 projects / mobile standards / user images. Okay, so that's how we get to that real, true long path, by using the request map path function, then followed by a separator character, which is going to be the backslash, followed by user.identity name, which is the user's name, and then which is definitely unique, and then we have .jpg. Okay, so that's going to be the place where we're going to store it. And then all we have to do at this point then is just find a sort of, just up in me dot is it picture upload dot save as open bracket file lock. Okay, and that will then save whatever image the user uploaded to that location, which, as I say, has been renamed to make it the same name as the user. Okay. Now then, however, later on, the database will need to actually display that image. Okay, or sorry, the server will need to display that image. So it needs to know where it is. So that the location of that image needs to go somewhere in the database, and it's going to go into this this users table, into the record where all the other data about that user is kept. So now at this point we then do the parameters add with value for each of these values. So let's go now. It's db cmd obj dot parameters dot add with value open bracket. Okay, so now then, so here we're just going to be adding all these various things like first name, and then we're going to use first name, which is the name of the field, dot text. Okay, and then so we can more or less copy that line again, because last name is going to be virtually the same. So just replacing the first with the word last. Okay. Now then, the next one, the gender object of male and female. Remember, that's a radio button group. That's going to be not quite as straightforward, although not very difficult at all. So add with value going to be quote at gender. Okay, and then question mark. So and now here we have to use, rather than using dot text, we use gender dot selected value. That will give us the value of whichever one of the two, male or female, the user has chosen. Okay, so we've got that. Then location is going to be very similar to the others. So db cmd obj parameters add with value location, and then replace that with location.text. And then finally, we've got the profile image, which we need to add. So db cmd obj parameters dot, oh dear, I spelled that wrong, parameters dot add with value, and then we say open bracket quote at profile image. Okay, and then we pass it then a file lock. Okay, so having done all that, we've now set all those values, and now we can just run the execute non-query, which will do the precise business of adding those values into that record. So it's db command, so it's db command obj dot execute non-query. Okay. Now then, we need to somehow show the user that it has actually worked, that their uploading has been successful. Otherwise, they won't know whether it has or not. So at this point, let's kind of just say something like this: place. Oh, I can't actually remember what the name of the placeholder was that we put on the page. We didn't put a placeholder on the page. What we need to do then, underneath this button here, we're going to kind of put in another placeholder. So let's go to View, Toolbox, and put just a placeholder underneath. And in that placeholder, what we can do is just add a picture of the picture that gets uploaded, and maybe also some congratulation text to go with it. So just so the user knows that they have been successful in uploading an image. So we say there, so placeholder 1 dot controls dot add open bracket. Now here we're going to do the typical add new literal control open bracket quote congratulations, your profile has been updated. Okay, and then after that we're going to kind of we need to probably, a good idea might be to show the image that the user has uploaded, and to do that we'll need to kind of add an image viewer control. So let's go bring up the source image. There's the placeholder. Let's put the image inside the placeholder. So we're going to drop an image object inside the placeholder there. Now again, it's called image 1, and now I'm going to go back into the design view, and so I'm going to go back into the code, and I'm going to type in there something like image1 dot image URL equals user images / it's a capital I, but it doesn't really matter on Windows machines, user images, and then quote, ampersand, and so we're going to say user.identity.name ampersand quote dot jpg. Okay, so that's the location. So what should happen then at this point is that in the event of the user, after the user has uploaded, then they should actually see the picture they've uploaded. So then we can say end if, and that's really the end of the page load, and hopefully after having done all that it should work. That's, that's last words, of course, famous last words. So let's see if we can get all this thing to work. So user profile ASPX, shouldn't really let me into that if the ASP denial is working. So okay, just loading up Firefox now. What it should happen, what we're going to be doing is should take us straight to the login page, and if it does indeed do that, what we will do is then go to create a new user by click on the register tab, and having clicked on that, we should be then prompted to update our profile, and then everything should be fine after that. So yes, so here it is. It's correctly found out we're not actually logged in. We're going to click on the Join Mobile Standards site page, which is now going to create us. So let's create a new. So I'm going to call myself JJJ. Password is going to be also, well, it's going to be ABC_123. ABC_123. Okay, and I'm just going to type in any old rubbish for the rest, just to make it quick. So I click on that and I choose Create User. Okay, just do I want to Firefox to remember it, and it should now take me into the next screen where it's now created my user, so it's created. Now what should happen now is if I click on the continue, it should take me to the profile page. So I click on continue and it should go into the profile page, unless there is a bug, and unfortunately there is. Oh dear. So there's a syntax error in the insert statement. So let's just have a quick look at that. Hopefully we can solve it. Insert into user's username values. Yes. So there needs to be a kind of needs to be a bracket before the single quote here. So let's just add a bracket. Okay, and then hopefully we can you can maybe work again. Let's try. What I'll do is I'll close down Firefox first though, because if I don't, it's going to think I'm still logged in. So I'm going to close it down again, and then I'm going to start it again, such that it completely logs me out of the system before I try to use it again. So here we go. Yeah, and unfortunately it is so slow on my machine. I'm sorry about this. Hopefully gives you plenty of time to think about what's going on in this website while we wait for these inevitable things to happen. So I'm going to again create a new username. So that's going to be my HHH. Okay, password ABC_123. ABC_123. Email is H. Security question is H. Security answer is H. Creating a new user. Okay, so now then click so remember. And then let's see if so this time it was no problem, and moreover it said hello HHH, so it knows who I am. And okay, so my first name is H, and last name is H. Going to capital. I'm going to choose myself as being male. I'm going to say I'm living in London, and now I just need to add a picture. So I'm just going to bring up any old image from my desktop. It's kind of untitled.jpg, which is just actually something I did in Paint earlier today. And so then, so I've got that now. Button is actually should have changed the title. I should have said upload your profile or confirm your profile. So I click on the button, and oh damn, we've got another got a problem here. Let's see what is the no value is given for one or more of the required parameters. So let's have a look there. What is the one missing? Okay, so update users, set first name equals first name, last name equals last name, gender is gender, location, profile image, gender, location, profile image. Where username equals we didn't add username. Yes, of course. So let's kind of add that. Okay, so it's basically we didn't tell this query what the value of username was, and of course username, this is actually quite simple. So db cmd obj dot parameters dot add with value open bracket quote at user name bracket, and then its username is quite obvious, user dot identity dot name. Okay, so so I'm adding that. Okay, so finally let's just try it once more again. I'm going to close down Firefox to make sure that there are no kind of lingering cookies which think I'm still logged in, so I'm kind of clearing some private data there. So now I'm going to run this whole thing yet again, the final time. Let us hope this time it does actually work. So starting debugging, and what should happen this time is that, well, it should basically work this time. So anyway, here it is. Here we're coming up with the website. Username. Okay, join the mobile standard site. So get a username. I'll type as 000. Password ABC underscore 123. Confirm password ABC underscore 123. So its email is O. Security question is O. Security answer is O. Create user and continue. And okay, so now we've got our hello OOO and it's mail, location, London, and the picture. I'm just going to upload that picture, the same picture again, untitled.jpg. Okay, and I'm going to click the button now to hopefully, yes, and finally it has actually worked. So there's a kind of picture that I've attempted to connect to the object. And if we now look inside Access, let's have a look inside Access. Let's close down that table. There's users table. Let's open it up again. We've had a few kind of disasters, of course. Something that occurred twice because in the middle of doing it. But ultimately, we have managed to create a user, and we've managed to add a profile image to it. So therefore, what we've done now is we've created this sort of parallel table, which will have, the kind of user names that already exist inside the SQL Server database, but with extra data here. Okay. I'd say that because of probably the few attempts we tried before where it didn't work, we've got these extra fields. But that is just something we just got to just check shortly. But more or less, it is working.